I still remember the sound of my sister's guitar, soft, shaky, like she was always apologizing to the strings. Even before the night, everything changed. Elena had a way of disappearing into music, the way some people disappear into dreams. I guess that's why I didn't notice how far she started slipping from the rest of us. My name is Camila Reyes, and this is the story of the last song my sister ever played. And the truth I learned only after she was gone. Elena was 3 years younger than me, but felt older in the ways that mattered. She had that quiet strength, the kind that doesn't show up until life bends you hard enough. We grew up sharing the same bedroom in a small apartment in the Bronx. When I studied for exams, she wrote songs on loose sheets of paper. When I worked part-time jobs, she worked on chords. We used to argue about it. I'd tell her she needed a real plan, and she'd tell me life was the plan, you just had to show up for it. But dreams don't pay bills, and New York doesn't care how gently you hold your guitar. When our mother got sick, the medical bills started piling. I picked up extra shifts. Elena picked up a job at a corner store, but the hours were brutal and the pay embarrassing. Still, she came home every night smelling like stale coffee and cold air, humming melodies she didn't have time to write down. Then came the day she met Jace. He walked into the store one night minutes before closing, a guy with sharp eyes and a smile that felt like a dare. Elena told me later that he listened to her hum while she restocked shelves and said, "You've got a voice that could break a person clean open." That's all it took. Compliments bloom fast in tired hearts. After that, she came home glowing. For a while, I was happy for her, but something changed. Jace started showing up outside our apartment building. Sometimes she came home late, too late. Sometimes she didn't come home at all. When I asked questions, she brushed them off. "Camila, I'm fine. Stop worrying." But she wasn't fine. She stopped writing. She stopped laughing. And she stopped playing the guitar, which scared me most of all. One night, I heard her in the bathroom crying quietly, the faucet running just loud enough to hide it. I wanted to knock, but something heavy in my chest kept me still. 2 days later, she sat me down at the kitchen table. The light flickered above us like it couldn't decide whether to stay or go. "I need money," she said. "For what?" She hesitated. "For something I owe." My stomach dropped. "Oh, who?" "Elena." "What did you do?" She didn't answer. She just looked at the wall, her jaw trembling slightly. "I'll figure it out," she whispered. "I always do." But she didn't. That weekend, she didn't come home. Not Friday night. Not Saturday morning. I called her phone again and again, straight to voicemail. I went to her job, the places she liked, even the corner stores she hated. Nothing. On Sunday afternoon, my phone rang. It was a number I didn't recognize, a hospital in Manhattan. When I arrived, everything smelled like disinfectant and sorrow. They told me she was found unconscious in an alley behind a club. They didn't know how long she'd been there. They didn't know who called it in. They didn't know if she would wake up. But she never did. The doctor said she had fentanyl in her system. A lot of it. Too much. I remember shaking my head, saying, "No, not Elena. She doesn't do, she wouldn't." But the truth didn't need my permission. My mother cried so hard she couldn't breathe. My brother punched a hole in the wall. I just sat in the corner of the hospital room, staring at the white blanket covering her body. When they handed me her things, her phone, her necklace, and a folded piece of paper, my hands shook so badly I dropped it twice. I opened it carefully, like it might crumble if I breathed too hard. It wasn't a letter. Not really. It was lyrics. "If the world gets loud and I get lost again, follow the song. That's where I'll be." The tears came then, quiet and endless. Because even at the end, when everything else had been taken from her, Elena had clung to the one thing that made her feel real. The police later told me everything they thought happened. That Jace was dealing. That he'd been pressuring her. That she might have owed him money she couldn't pay. But they didn't have proof. He slipped through the cracks like a shadow at dusk. Everyone kept telling me to find closure. But closure isn't real. It's just a word people use when they don't know how to help. What's real is waking up every morning and remembering she's gone. What's real is the empty chair at the table, the guitar gathering dust in the corner. What's real is the silence, where her music used to be. Months passed before I could bring myself to open her journal. Inside were unfinished lyrics, doodles of guitars, lists of songs she wanted to learn. On the last page, in faint pencil, she had written, "One day I'll play a stage so bright Camila will see it from heaven." I'm not religious, but I like to imagine she's on that stage now, singing without fear, her voice rising above everything that ever tried to break her. I still go to the alley where she was found. I sit there for a moment, breathe in the city she loved, and whisper the words she left for me. If the world gets loud, and I swear, sometimes, I hear her finish it.